I've started the recording, and if you want, you can go on mute if there is background sound over there. And whenever you guys have any question and want to speak up, you can unmute yourself and speak up. Okay. Yeah. So, guys, this is the first session of the SEO basics course, SEO foundation course of part of Sunstone program. Welcome to the course. This is a 3-week course which will give the foundation of search engine optimization. Basically, after going through this course, you will understand how exactly search engines work and what are the parameters which influence the way search engine works, and how exactly you can modify or tune your website so that you get the desired results with the search engines. Okay, so I am Saneesh Parambath. I'm an e-commerce consultant. You can see my LinkedIn profile over here. As part of e-commerce consulting, I work with different retailers. I help retailers to go online. So I work on the online strategy of shifting from, or rather than shifting, enabling brick and mortar stores, the regular stores that you see in the physical world, to go to the virtual or online world. So as part of that, I have also invested a part of myself in search engine optimization, and I also work with some startups in uh, improving their search engine ranking. So I don't really claim being an expert in SEO. I too am a beginner, and I've been working in the SEO field for the past 1 year by working with different startups, helping them go online. That's about myself. So without wasting much time, we will directly go into SEO, what SEO is all about. Now I'm sure that you guys, even though you might not be fully aware of how SEO is done, you would be knowing the basics about search engines, how search engine works, in what all ways people use search engines. Now, how I would like to frame is that, okay, before I go into the detail, you guys have any suggestions or your thoughts about what search engines are and what is the importance of search engine in today's world? Any thoughts on those lines?
So according to my point of view, content is the most important to SEO.
Yeah, great point. Yeah. So content is a main important part of SEO, and the thing is how important search engines are. So basically, search engines like Google have become the gateway to internet or World Wide Web. So basically, if everyone knows that there are a lot of resources in World Wide Web which you can use. Like you have any question, you people will be going to the internet and asking that. Now, what is the gateway through which people does that? What is the starting point? That's where search engines come. So, search engine like Google, which enjoys around 88 or 90% of market share, what they do is that they provide a entry to the web. So people go to the google.com or any other search engine, type the query, and then based on the results, they go to the individual websites. You see, there are, I think, billions of websites out there. There are huge number of websites. There are more websites than humans on the planet. So the World Wide Web is a vast what is it? Is a vast area of resources. There are a lot of resources out there. And when I say resources, what you said is correct. It's all content. It's all, when you can say it's a part of knowledge, it's unstructured data, whatever it is. At the end of the day, there's a lot of content out there, lying there. Uh, and what search engine does is that whenever you have a question, you have a query, you can ask that to the search engine, and the search engine will come back with the answers. That is, the search engine would come back saying that these are the websites where you will find answers to your question. That's what search engine does. So, having understood how important search engines are, the next point is, if you are running your own website, how do you make sure that your website is visible to the search engines, and how do you convey to the search engine that these are the parameters, or these are the content, these are the type of content, these are the questions that you will be addressing, these are the categories under which you will be belonging. So how do you convey that message effectively to the search engine, so that the search engine would select your website for the queries that you are intending to solve? So the search engines are like a bridge between the internet users on one side and the internet companies or the websites on the other side. So people would not be knowing each and every individual website. They might be knowing some popular website. Apart from that, they will not know anything else. So they come to a search engine like Google, ask their query, put their query, and expect Google to give the results. And it's a job of the SEO to make sure that your website comes in the result. So this is one formal definition. Like, search engine optimization is a methodology of strategies, tactics, and techniques. So we need to be very clear on these words. That is, it's both a strategy and tactic. So what do you mean by that? Strategies are like, it's more of long term. It has to be in line with your business goals. So, and it will be developed over a period of time. You cannot develop a strategy in day one or two. It takes a lot of time. It evolves as part of your business. Say, for instance, uh, you are putting a blog on recipes and cooking. So, the type of search engine optimization that you have to do, that strategy will have to be built on top of your business. Like, your business in this area is cooking and recipes. And tactics are like, you would have to do workarounds, or you would have to do things which will give you short term gain. That also you have to do. It will be more of technical work that you'll be doing at the back end. So it's a combination of both strategies, techniques and tactics to make sure that you will be getting increased amount of visitors by getting a better rank in the search engine ranking. Okay. So this is one thing that we need to understand before we uh, uh, go deeper into the course, because there is a general confusion in the market, at least among those people who are aspiring to be SEOs. Like, some people believe that this is part of marketing and any marketing person can do it. Some people believe that this is more of a technical job and only technical folks will be able to do it. So it is from this definition that we need to understand what SEO is. So a typical marketing person coming to SEO would be able to understand the big picture, and he would be able to come up with the strategies. But such a person would be handicapped if he does not know the basics of technology on the tactics and techniques side. So he would know what has to be done in SEO, but he will not be knowing how exactly it has to be executed. Whereas on the other side, when we talk about technical people, people who are working on website design, etc., they would they would be able to understand the how part, but they would not be able to correlate it with the big picture. So if you are coming to SEO, you can come from a marketing background, you can come from a technical background, but whatever background you're coming from, you need to make sure that you need to improve your thinking and skills by complementing the other part. That is, if you're coming from the marketing side, you need to start developing some technical skills on HTML coding and on how to put up that robots.txt, how to put up the different XML files which will tell the different information about your website. So all these technical aspects you would have to learn. And if you're a technical person coming over to SEO, you need to understand the basics of marketing, how exactly humans behave, what are the things that we need to take care as part of business, what are the questions that you need to ask the business owner to understand how exactly the business is done, and how to segment the users, how to understand your users. What are the questions you need to ask to business to understand the users? How exactly will you group the users together, and what sort of users will you target with with what and which techniques? So you would have to do both. So any marketing people can come here, or technical people can come here. The only point is that it's combination of both marketing and technology. So if you are strong on one side, you need to make sure that you complement it with the by developing the skills on the other side. Okay. So is that fine till now? Any problems? Any questions?
No, sir. It's clear.
Okay. So talking about SEO, or rather the search engine ecosystem, we need to understand that there are three sets of players. That is, on one side we have users, like the people who go to internet and search for stuff, users like you and me. Then you have search engines. Out of there are different kinds of search engines in the world, and the major one is Google, which holds around 90% of the market share. Then there are search engines which are specific to geographies, and there are now search engines which are specific to domain. Like there is a search engine called DuckDuckGo, which a lot of technical folks are using these days because it provides a lot of information on that side. And say, for example, another search engine called Baidu. It's a geography constrained search engine, like it's focused in China. And then you have Yahoo and Bing, which are directly competing with Google, but it's they are losing market share. So basically, the major search engine that we have today is Google, and we have smaller and niche search engines. And then we have the SEO, who is the person who will be making sure that your website is ranked well among the search engine. Now, because the search engine market as such is a little biased or skewed towards Google, when you work on SEO, you would be concentrating almost 100% on Google. So whatever SEO tactics and strategies that we study will be based on Google. Now, one thing about SEO, unlike other branch of studies, is that, say, for example, you talk about the finance or marketing. These are more like standalone fields. These are fields which are existing on their own, and by existing on their own, they provide a function to the business. That's how they work. If you talk about finance or marketing, now SEO is not like that. SEO is completely dependent on these search engines. So one important point that the SEOs have to remember is that SEO is not a standalone function, and it is completely dependent on search engines. So you need to follow the rules set forward by search engines, and you need to understand the algorithm that search engines have. And having said that, you will have to make yourself updated with all the changes that these search engines are doing in different aspects of search. Only then you will be able to upgrade your SEO skills. So basically what I'm saying is that whatever you study now, the basics would remain the same, but how exactly things are being implemented will change in a span of months or maybe years. Like in the next 2 years, whatever concrete stuff that we are studying, whatever techniques or tactics we are studying might be irrelevant. You'll have to understand how exactly search engine changes their search algorithm, and based on that you'll have to upgrade your SEO tactics. Now let's just understand this SEO ecosystem little more detail. The main question over here is how does more than how does search engine work, that which we will see in the later stage of the class. Uh, what is the monetary benefit for the search engine? How do the search engines make money? So anyone want to answer that? How do search engines make money? Yeah, Kim.
Sir, when optimize our
in Google first page, then Google paid for every.
I'm sorry, you're not audible. Your voice is breaking.
Sir, I'm just saying कि Google when our optimize your website and rank in first Google first page, then paid Google's every click and every user. If any user click our site, then Google is paid.
Yeah, okay. So it's partly correct. I'll just explain on that. So you're able to see my screen. So are you able to see my the browser that I've taken?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So yeah, let me type something over here. Best pediatrician in Bangalore. Yeah. So one aspect that Google does or any search engine does to make money is that when you key in a keyword, best pediatrician in Bangalore, I get the results. But if you look at the top result, the first one, you can see it's an ad over here. It's put ad over here. So basically, based on your keyword, along with the organic result, it will also show the advertisement. So for these advertisement, this proctor.com/book/online, if you click on that, they will have to pay money. So basically, to get your website ranked on top in the under the advertisement section, you need to give money to Google. So that is one way that Google makes money. This entry over here, it did not come as part of search engine optimization. This is called search engine marketing. So as part of search engine marketing, you have to give money to Google and make sure that your website comes on top in the ads, or Google will be suggesting as advertisement to the people. So if you come down, then you have the organic result. So the results from here are organic. This is part of SEO. What you saw on top is the SEM, search engine marketing. So through search engine marketing, Google makes some money. That is one aspect. Another aspect is that if you go inside any website, any regular website, you might see some ads in different parts of the website. So these ads, most of these ads that you see in websites are supported by Google. That is, Google puts these ads in the websites. So when you click on these ads, you Google will be getting money from those website operators. So when you go to some websites, you will see ads being given by Flipkart or Amazon based on your search criteria, based on your previous search history in their websites. So all those ads are provided by Google through their AdSense and AdWords program. And when you click on those ads, Google again gets money. So basically the point here is that Google does not make money directly from the users. Rather than that, by increasing the people visiting different websites and visiting google.com, they make money. They make money through advertisement. So the ultimate aim of Google or any search engine is to increase the number of people visiting their google.com website. Plus, also when they visit other websites, when they click on ads, Google will make money. So that's how it works. And now the job of the SEO is to make sure that he has to optimize the websites so that it ranks well in google.com search engine results page. This is the SERP that you see, search engine results page. So the job of the SEO is not to get this link in ad, that is SEM, search engine marketing. So the job of the SEO is to get that result in this first 10, that is the page 1, because people never go to the next page. So the job of the SEO is to get the result in the first page. One more aspect that I would like to put over here is the importance of both man and machine in understanding the website. Say, for example, you go to any website. Let's just take one website for example. This is not a good example. Yeah, so this is the website of one hospital. So when I go to this website, it has got the pictures of different doctors. Now, when I, as a human being, when I look at this website, I get to know certain things immediately. That this is a website of hospital. It's a children's hospital, and they've got different doctors, mainly pediatricians and gynecologists. So I get this information from this website because the website has been structured in the right way. They have given importance to the content. They know what content has to be put where. In the left side, they have given the map of the site so that you can navigate between different pages of the site. On the center, you have given the pics of the doctor. So all this arrangement has been done in such a way that the humans find the website readable. Humans can understand what this website is all about. So the next part is that this same website would have to be parsed or seen by search engines also. So when the search engine comes, the search engine is not a human being. It's basically a computer program which goes through billions of websites in the world and understand what these websites are all about. So just like a human being views this website, the search engine has got automated program which goes into the certain tags of the website and passes through the content and understand what this website is all about. So the challenge that SEO faces is that he has to make sure that the website is readable both by humans and by machine, that is by search engine algorithms, or we call search engine bots, BOTS. It's a short for robots. We call it bots. So that is the biggest challenge for SEO. Okay. Now there is a disclaimer that there is something that I have already specified at the beginning of the class, that one thing, this will not make you an expert. This is only a foundation course. Second thing is that SEO changes. Since it is dependent on search engines, as and when search engine changes their algorithm, you would have to update for that. Okay. Now we will get into the actual stuff. In this today's session, first we will concentrate on how search engines work. Because before we attempt on optimizing our website for search engines, we need to understand how exactly search engines work. Only once you understand how search engines work, then only we will be able to appreciate the effort that we are putting for SEO. Only then you'll be understanding what direction we are going with our website. Okay. Now, let's think about this. Let's just take things in the perspective of Google. Okay. Now, you are going to this website, google.com, and then you are typing a query. Best in Mysore. Okay. So you're typing this query. Now, what happens to the backend? When I click enter, what is happening there? Is it when I click enter that Google goes and searches all these web pages? How many web pages do you think are there in this world? As I said earlier, there are billions of web pages, and most probably we'll be having more web pages than humans in this world. The number is huge. Now, when you're giving such a query on google.com, what should Google do? Should it go and search all these websites? I just gave this query and clicked enter, and I got the result in 0.89 seconds. It said that we have around 69 lakh 20,000 results, and Google came back with these results in only 0.89 seconds. Do you think it's possible to go through all these billions of web pages? So what all things are required to be done? When I ask a question, Google has to do the natural language processing, understand what is the intent of the question. It has to break each word and form the sentence, understand the intent, and based on that, it has to go through billions of web pages, go through the content of the web pages, and understand which all websites relate to resorts, and that to resorts in Mysore, and that it's not just any resort, it's the best resorts in Mysore. Do all this checking and then come back and tell me that these are the top 10 results of the 69,20,000 results in just 0.89 seconds. So did Google do that in this time frame? That's a question. So basically, it's not possible for Google or any other algorithm or technology to achieve this. It's not possible. So what actually happens in the backend is that irrespective of what is the query that you are typing, like basically this query was not being searched across World Wide Web. Instead, Google has got a copy of the entire World Wide Web. Google maintains a copy of all the websites in the world in their servers. So when I say copy, it is not the complete dump or it is not the exact copy of the websites that you see. Google goes through all the websites in the world, and after going through it, it will understand what is the content in the website and stores certain important information about that website in Google server. And then when you search a query, the query is actually fired not on the World Wide Web but on the copy of the website in Google server. So that is the reason it is much faster. And this activity of going through the World Wide Web and retrieving information from all the websites is called crawling. So what happens is that what you see over here is the Google servers. From the Google servers, they will initiate these crawlers. These crawlers are nothing but it's a software program. It's a software program capable of going through the internet. That is, it will start with the major websites in the world, and from those websites, it will go to all the linked websites one after the other. And in that process, it will cover almost the entire internet, the entire World Wide Web. And what does it do? It goes through the different web pages, and from these web pages, it will understand what is the content of the web page. So one thing over here is that the original point I was pointing, like the humans see the website in one way, whereas the machines see it in a different way. So this is where it gets. The crawlers goes through these different websites and understands the content. So first thing that we have to understand here is that as an SEO, you need to make sure that your website is visible for the crawlers. So one example that we will see in later part of the course when we do on-page optimization is about images. So let me just go to one website here. Okay, so we have an image over here. So the image shows a resort, a cottage. Now as a human, I can understand that. But right now with search engines, even though the search engine has got the algorithm to do the image processing, it cannot do the image processing for all the images in the World Wide Web. It's not possible right now with the technology that we have. So what we have to make sure that when we give such an image, we need to put an alt text that we'll understand how exactly to put. Just try to understand the concept behind this. There is an alt text which describes what this image is about. So what your crawler essentially does is that it will go through your website. Okay, it will go through your website, but it doesn't have the eyes like human being. So what it does is that it look for certain tags in the website, and from those tags, the crawler would be able to understand what the image is about, what is the content in the website, etc. So based on that, the crawler would send back information to the Google server saying that this website is about resorts and it has got some photos of resorts in Mysore, in forest. So all this information it will get based on the tags and the content of the tags which the SEO would have given. So in that way, the crawlers would collect information from one website. So how does the crawler get the information? It gets information from different tags. There are different tags that you can see in a web page. From those tags, the content of the tag, it will understand what this website is all about. Now, what is the next thing that the crawler has to do? It has to crawl from one website to the other. How does that happen? Among these websites, among the content about on this website, you will be having links. And so when you click here, this is one link, Mysore Silk Saree. Now when you click on this link, it goes to a different page of the same site. So by what the crawler does is that it will actually go to this link, and from that link it will navigate to the next website which is linked to this main site. So in this way, it will start from the top most popular websites and go down to the lesser popular linked ones. So one thing that we need to understand is that we have to make sure that our website is well linked to the other websites in the world, more popular ones in the world. So the better linking that you get, the more ranking you'll be getting in search engines. Okay, so this is how crawlers work. Any doubts on crawlers or any thoughts or any suggestions that you have? Any questions? So I think there are no questions, but the main point that we need to understand is that how exactly crawlers work. Crawlers are nothing but computer programs, and what it does is that it will pass through the different websites of the world. It will start from the main websites that the Google would have already stored in the previous crawls. There will be a lot of crawls done, every day. So Google has got a lot of back-end jobs, automated back-end jobs, which are running throughout the day, throughout the year. The only thing these guys do is that it will send out the program. The program will spawn different threads, and these threads will go through different websites, and from those websites, it will get the content of the website, give back the content to the Google server, and then go to different websites connected to the main one. In that way, in a matter of hours, it will crawl the entire World Wide Web. And then again, this process is repeated. Now, one question to you guys. Since you understood crawling and you also understood that Google does not perform search on your website directly, but rather than a copy of your website, what would happen if you update your website? Any thoughts on that? Say you make some major changes in the website, what would happen? If you are not able to talk, you can put your comments in the chat window also. Yeah, keep going. Yeah, okay, so let me just rephrase my question. So the point that we understood now, yeah, go on. Akib, are you there? Yeah, the point that we understood now is that Google will not be working on your live website. Instead, Google will be storing that live website in their server, and all the searches are done on that copy, not on the original. So what would happen if you do any major changes in your website? So whatever change that you do in your website, it will take some time to reflect, because Google would be having a earlier copy. So typically we say that it might take anywhere between 1 to 2 weeks for that change to be updated in the Google server. So whenever you are working on SEO, unlike any other technical work, you cannot expect to do the changes and see the results immediately. Once you do the change, just to get the change reflected itself, it will take 1 or 2 weeks. After the change gets reflected, after Google knows about the change, even then to get the benefit, it will take months, because Google will not be taking decision only based on the current content that you have, but also based on the history. So basically, if you're running one particular business, you are running a blog on, say, cooking and recipes. All of a sudden, you want to change from cooking and recipes to a completely different domain, like, say, real estate. Then you are actually going to lose out your edge or the potential or equity that you created in your first domain, that is cooking and recipes. So such drastic changes will not yield any result. It is like starting from scratch. Okay. Now we'll go to the next important thing that the search engines do, that is storing. Now we have talked about crawling through the websites and retrieving the information, and this information is sent back to Google servers. Now the storing itself is a big job done by Google. In the SEO perspective, you might not need to know the details, but at a high level, what we need to understand is that Google has got servers across the world. Everywhere in the world, it has got servers, and it stores a copy of a subset of the data that has crawled. So what essentially happens is that it is not in one particular server. So since it is distributed across the world, it is easily accessible by internet users across the world. That's what you need to understand. Then the next part is indexing. So at a high level, there are 4 activities that search engines do. That is crawling, storing, processing and indexing, and ranking. Out of these 4 activities, storing is the least important one for SEOs. Crawling is something that you need to understand the basics, and this processing and indexing and ranking. These are the 2 things that we need to understand in depth, which will actually affect our SEO. So what is indexing now? You have seen the index of books, right? In books, whatever books that you read, you might have seen an index at the back of the book. So what essentially this index does is that it gives a list of entries where certain keywords repeat or certain aspects repeat. So basically, instead of going through the entire book, searching for one particular topic or keyword, you can go through the index and quickly find in which all pages of the book this particular keyword appeared or this particular topic appeared. That is index. Now that same index, concept of index, is being used here in Google. So whatever websites whose information has been stored, it has to be indexed properly. If you do the indexing properly, then the ranking and the further querying based on this search query will be faster. Okay. So how exactly indexing will be done is decided by Google, and we don't have much information about that. But what essentially we need to understand is that we need to make sure that the tags and the content that we give in the website should help the search engine or Google to index our website in the proper way. So what essentially happens is that, let's come back to the example of resorts in Bangalore. So we are saying best resorts in Bangalore. Now, when I give this search query, the reason these websites came, like this Trilofia website and TripAdvisor came, is because these sites have been indexed against these keywords like Bangalore, resorts, like that. So that is the reason these websites were coming in the list of results. That is part of the 63 lakh result. It came because of this indexing. So as a SEO, we need to understand that what is our business and which are the keywords against which you would like the search engine to index the website. Okay, they should not be indexing this website on the wrong keywords. So if you go to say this particular website, you will obviously see some good photographs. But just because you have some good photographs and some good content, this website is not about photography, correct? This website is not about photography, or it is not about furnitures. So it should not be indexed against the wrong attributes. It should be indexed against the right attributes, which are like outing, resorts, Bangalore, etc. Okay. So that is the importance of indexing. So what we are understanding here are the concepts. How exactly these concepts will be converted into strategy, tactics and techniques, we will be learning later. So right now, try to understand the concepts and the reasons why the SEO is doing certain things. And after indexing, the last one is the ranking, which is the most important one. Now, what is ranking? So till now, what we have what we have talked about is the activities that the search engine does at the back end without a user initiated work. Till now, we have not talked about giving the query. Okay. So whatever we talked till now happened before I had given this search query. Even before I had given this search query, all this work was done by the search engine. So search engine has got the backend jobs, which are called crawlers, which will crawl entire website, get the content, give the content back to the Google servers, and start crawling to the next website. Then you have storing, where the Google server across the world stores the copy of the websites. Then the same Google does the indexing. That is, whatever stored pages are there, it will index according to the keywords. All this have been done without your intervention. Now, once you give the keyword and click on enter, you get the results. So in this 0.89 or 0.75 second, what has Google done is only the ranking. So based on the stored web pages which are indexed, it will use something called NLP, natural language processing. NLP. So it will use a technology called NLP, that is natural language processing, and understand your query, and then restructure your query in different ways, and then fire that query into their server against which all the data is stored and indexed. So that is what ranking does. So in ranking, what happens is that when a query comes, it will understand the language, it will use NLP and understand the context of the question, and then it will do the ranking. It will do the ranking means out of these 63 lakh 30,000 results which it has got based on indexing, it has to decide which one will come first. Because out of the 63 lakh results, Google decided to put this link on first, this link on second, like that. That is the ranking. So this is where SEO comes into play. The SEO has to make sure by giving the proper content and giving the proper linking and tagging, etc., that the ranking is improved, and the SEO has to make sure that after improving the ranking, the website comes in the top 10 or 20, that is the first page, because beyond the first page people will not view the results. Okay, now how does ranking work? Ranking basically works on two parameters. Even though we have given 4 here, the most important things are relevance and popularity. Now, what are the English meaning of relevance and popularity? It's simple. That is, how close you are to the question. So when you say best resorts in Bangalore, it has to understand whether your website is about resorts, whether your websites are about resorts in Bangalore, and does it talk about the best one, the good one. So it has to use the NLP and understand that best, good, deluxe, luxury, all these things are related items. Okay, so it has to understand that. So in that way, it has to understand the relevance, whether your website is relevant to the question asked by the user. That is relevance. Second important thing is the popularity. Only because your website is relevant doesn't mean that it can be given a good rank. It needs to be popular also. Now, how do you check popularity? How do you say something is popular? In the real world, the physical world, how do you say someone or some brand is popular? Based on how much that person or that brand is known. Like Amitabh Bachchan is a popular actor because everyone knows Amitabh Bachchan. That's the reason. So that is popularity in the real world. So in the virtual world, what is popularity? Popularity is nothing but how much your website is linked to the other websites in the world. That is one thing. Second thing is that on top of that point, that is how much your website is linked to other popular websites. It's not just that your website is linked to another site which is a common one. It has to be linked to another website which is very popular or reputed one. The more popular and reputed that website is, the more your ranking will be. When I say link, it's not that you will be having a link to that popular website. It's the other way around. That is, that popular website should be having a link towards your website. So that actually shows that you are popular among the worldwide. Okay. So these are the two major things. That is relevance and popularity. These are the two important aspects which will determine your rank. Now the other two aspects which influences ranking to a very limited way is the search history and location. Now when you this you have to you'll have to check it out by yourself. When you search, you know that you can log into Google, right? Right now, when I'm searching, I'm logged into Google as Saneesh G. Now, when I log into Google and search, Google actually uses my previous search history. It also has the history that in which all websites have I previously visited. So all these search history Google takes into account during the ranking. So what Google does is that those websites which I have had visited earlier would be ranked higher. And also it will check the location. That is based on my IP address, any search engine can understand from which part of the world I am logging into. Now Google will understand from my IP address that I am logged in from Bangalore. So when I ask for something, it will be centric to Bangalore. So if I ask good restaurants, good vegetarian restaurants, then Google will understand that he is asking about good vegetarian restaurants in Bangalore because his location is Bangalore. So in that way also the ranking will be affected. Okay, so relevancy and popularity are the most important ones, and search history and location also influences ranking. So we'll just take a 5-minute break over here, and we'll continue after that. I'll refresh through these concepts, and if there are any questions, we'll take it up. And there are some points on page optimization, but I think I'll take that in the next class where we will go deeper into on page and off page optimization. Okay, we just take a 5-minute break. We will be back at 11:02. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm back here. So, I guess we'll have to go through this ranking once more, which is very little more complex and which is very important for the CEOs to understand. Are you guys able to hear me?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So I hope you're clear with the other three concepts, that is crawling, storing, and indexing. Are those
Yes,
three
sir.
fine? Yeah. So for ranking, I'll repeat or I'll explain more in more detail because this is very important and this is little complex to understand. So ranking happens when you give the query. So you type the query in the google.com. That's when, based on your query, Google has to go through the stored indexed copy of the websites, and then first it has to get the total number of results. Like out of a billion pages, out of the indexed one, it will get the total pages, maybe 70,000 or 100,000 pages, which is linked to your question. That it will get based on the indexing. Now, out of these 100,000 or 50,000 pages, it's not possible for the user to go through all the pages, right? The Google has to make the user's life easy. So Google has to make sure this thousands of pages which Google got out of the billion ones has to be ranked appropriately so that Google will be able to give you the top 10 pages which are ranked according to your query. So the question is, how does this ranking happen? We need to understand how this ranking happens because based on that, the SEO will do the search engine optimization. Okay, all the SEO tactics will be based on the ranking. Now, this ranking is influenced by two major factors: the relevance and popularity. Apart from these two factors, the other two factors which influences ranking is the search history and location. Now, relevance is nothing but how closely connected your website or how relevant your website is to the query of the user. So, when the user gives a question like best pediatrician in South India or best pediatrician or kids doctor in New Delhi. So, if when the user gives such a question, in order to get your website, Google has to understand that your website is relevant for pediatrician and is relevant for the people in Delhi. So it has to map to these aspects, whatever you're giving in the search query. So that is the relevance or the importance, how important your website is to the search query. And how you do that, how exactly you do the relevance part is by doing the on-page optimization. So basically all the optimization work to improve or optimize relevancy of your web page to the query is done on the website pages. These are nothing but certain tags and content that you put in the website. So you need to know where to put which content, what all to highlight, what all are the keywords that you need to select. This is an entire, it is a task of its own to understand the keywords and to map those keywords in different parts of your website. So that was the on-page optimization. Okay. So that on-page optimization will make sure that your website is relevant to the given query. Now the second thing is popularity. Only being relevant is not enough. Yes, by being relevant, we know that your website contains information related to the query asked by the user. That part is done. Now the second part is how popular you are. We need to check in the internet, in the World Wide Web, how popular you are. And how do you check popularity in World Wide Web? We check the popularity by checking how much linked your website is to other major websites. That is how popularity is measured. And that popularity we can improve by doing the off-page optimization. Off-page optimization are techniques that are beyond your website. These techniques are not done inside your websites but outside the website. It might be as simple as going for an event. Say we were talking about cooking and recipe blogs, right? So if you're a person like that, you might have to conduct some events on cookery or something like that, or you might have to participate in some events which are conducted by big hotels, and you need to physically know people, and you might have to request people coming from reputed companies to give a linking to your website, which is much smaller to them. So you would have to do all these tactics and techniques outside your website. It is not inside the website. So these are the two major things, that is relevance and popularity. Then the other two aspects which impacts you is search history and location. Now, what is search history? So here you can, I am searching in Google based after logging in. So basically, Google knows my profile, and after knowing my profile, Google also knows about my search history. So I can check the history here. See, so the first two entries that you see here are in a purple color, in a different color. The other entries are in black. Now, Google understands that I had earlier searched for best resorts in Bangalore. I had also searched for best resorts in Mysore. So Google understands my search history. Actually, unless and until I clear my history with Google, Google stores the entire search history, whatever I have searched till now. Now, based on my search history, Google can refine its ranking. So based on the different queries that I have given, that is one, the queries that I have given. Second thing is that once I say go to this best resorts in Mysore. Yeah, second thing is that Google already knows that I had previously clicked on this website. You see this dialog over here. You visited this page on 4/11/2017. That is today. Today, some time back, I had visited this website. Okay, it shows 4/11/2017 because this clock is based out of US. That's the reason. So in US, it's still 4th of November. So that's the reason. It shows that, okay, I have visited this website on 4th of 11. But for this website, you don't see that because I had not clicked on it. If you see, the color coding itself is different. This is purple, and what we have over here is blue. So actually, Google understands my history. So since I had clicked on this link once, even if I select best resorts in Bangalore or best resorts in some other place, and if this website Trilofila contains that data, that Trilofila will be given better ranking, because Google knows that in a different search I had clicked on Trilophilia, sorry. So since I had clicked on Trilophilia, and it is recorded in my search history that Saneesh had clicked on Trilophilia earlier, so it's better to rank Trilophilia higher because there is a search history associated to it. Okay. So this is nothing but understanding the user's search history, what all things the user had searched earlier, and which all links he had clicked. So based on that information, your websites will be ranked. So if the user had clicked on your website earlier, there's a higher chance that that particular website will again come in your search result. And this does not happen with one or two instances. So whenever I do any travel, I usually look at Trilophilia and TripAdvisor. Now that is the reason that this TripAdvisor and Trilophilia always comes into my search result, because I have a habit of going through these two websites. So Google knows that I trust these two websites. Okay. So is that part clear on search history? So similar to search history, we have the point on location also. So Google or any search engine can understand the location from which you are logging in based on your IP address. So this information will also impact your search result. So as I was saying that if you just give uh, some query without specifying the place, so I just give best resorts. See, it has actually, I've just given best resorts, and these guys have, since they know my location, inside Bangalore, they know my location. It is giving all the results around Bangalore. inside and around Bangalore. It is not showing me results outside of Bangalore. Okay. So this is how location comes into picture. So if you look at this query, I just gave best results. I did not give anything else. I did not say best results in Bangalore. I just said best results, and based on my location, it ranked the results in Bangalore on top. Okay. So as I was saying, in this ranking, what you have to understand in depth is relevancy and popularity, because these are the two aspects which come into play when you're doing SEO. And to improve the relevancy of your page, you have to do on-page optimization. So I can give you one more example, like say you are having a website on healthcare. Now, what is the on-page optimization that you have to do over there? The first question that you need to ask the business owner is that what aspects of healthcare are we catering in this website? So is it like doctors treating patient, or is it diagnostics, or is it healthcare advice? So based on these questions, you would get to know what are the right content to put in the website. And in this content, what all things has to be highlighted. And when I say highlighting, there are different tags which I repeated earlier inside your website which you can leverage. It is these tags which our crawlers will be going through, and there are important things that we have to put in these tags. How exactly we will do the on-page optimization, what are the different techniques, we will get to know in the subsequent classes. So in the next class, we will be going through the different on-page and off-page optimization. I'll just give a heads up for the on-page optimization. So in on-page optimization, the most important one is the keyword usage. So earlier means around 10, 12 years back, at the beginning of Google and all, what happened was that the number of websites in the world was very limited. We did not have all these billions of web pages, and search engine algorithms used to be more simpler. So during those times, the simple algorithm that the simple algorithm that the search engines used to follow was keywords. Okay. So if you are a website on say resorts in Bangalore, you just stuff your website with the keyword resorts in Bangalore, maybe 100 times or 1000 times. It will be ranked higher. That's how it used to work. Okay, because in those days we did not have complex algorithm. So keywords were the only keywords are the most important and the only important one. One second. Keywords are the most important, and it was only the only important one in those days. People just the SEO guys of those days just worked on keywords. Okay, so if your website is about one particular thing, stuff the entire website with that particular keyword. If it is about resorts, just write best resorts here and there some 100 times, and it will get ranked. But now the algorithms are much complicated and sophisticated. It's very advanced, so that if you do such things like keyword stuffing, you will be caught. That is, Google will downrank you. Your website will never come up in the search result. So nowadays it has to be more strategic. So you have to use the appropriate keyword, and there are only some places where you can use this keyword. That is, there is something called the title tag and the meta description, header tags. So in all these special tags, you can use the keywords, and you need to be sure which keyword to use. You cannot use all the keywords. And then there are other techniques like URL structure that you form, and the image text. That was the example I was telling earlier. So all these things we will go in detail in the next classes. One thing we need to understand right now is that these are the techniques which will improve the relevancy of your website. These techniques will make sure that the query given by the user, or rather it will make sure that the website contains that content which maps to the query given by the user. Okay. So the brainstorming to be done here is that when you build a website, you need to think about the user, customer, and think what all queries the customer will be typing in. So if it is about resorts in Bangalore, People might type for best resorts in Bangalore, or it can be good resorts in Bangalore, etc. Just a second, please hold on. Yeah, so the important thing that we need to understand is that on-page optimization is done to improve the relevancy of your website. Okay, so don't worry about the complexity. We will be going in detail on page optimization and off page optimization in the next class, next Sunday. So we will meet at that time. So before that, I want you guys to do one assignment. It's a very simple assignment that we have. The first assignment. It is nothing but we need to go through the different search engines. I would prefer you guys to go through Google, that is one, because it's a major one. And then you can go through Bing also, bing.com. So what you have to do is, say, this is google.com. I'm giving budget apartments. I'm just giving budget apartments in google.com. And always go to the SEO part, okay? You don't have to go behind this ad. So we'll go down and we'll see the first result is low budget flats in Bangalore by 99 acres, and all these results are from 99 acres and magicbricks.com. Now let's take a different search engine. Yeah, it's Bing. This Bing is from Microsoft. So here again I give budget apartments. Again here you have the ad, ignore the advertisement and see what all things come in the SEO part. Now here you can see it is 99 acres, the first two, then Magic Bricks, then Shoba.com. So here we need to check what all things are coming. Here 99 acres is the same thing, but then you have something called budget.com. Okay, we gave budget apartment and what we got was budget.com, which contains rent a car, it's not apartment. Okay, now you have booking.com, then budget places. Now these guys are based out of London. This is across the world. Okay, so the results are different. Got it, right? So the assignment is all about giving different search queries and recording the result of the web result from the different search engines. So I would prefer you to select Google and Bing. Okay, and give the same search query in Google and in Bing, and then analyze the results. Do this for at least 5 queries, 5 different types of queries. Just come up with your own, just put some imagination, come up with your own set of queries. Budget apartment is one query that I have given. No need to make it a specific query, because the more specific you give the question, the more easier the job is for the search engine. We want to give generic queries like budget apartments, good veg restaurants, like that, without any specific nature, without any location or time. Just give some generic queries and see how the results of Google and Bing differs. So with this assignment, you would be able to. So with this assignment, the intention is that you would be able to get a fair understanding of the differences in the working between search engines. Okay. Okay, guys. Any question on the assignment? Is the assignment clear? So the result of the assignment will be something like this. I also want you to give an analysis on the differences. So the first keyword that I had given was budget apartments. and for that I gave what Google gave me. This is a screenshot of what Google gave me, and then I also give what Bing gave me. This is a screenshot of the different and ranking done by Bing. So like this, I want you to do it for 5 search queries. Use your imagination and come up with your own search queries. One suggestion is that try not to be very specific, because the more specific you become, the more easier the job is for the search engine. Now, after giving these 5 search queries and the 5 different screenshots, tell me your analysis on what are the differences between Bing and Google. With that, we'll understand how good your understanding is about on how exactly the search engine works. Okay, so today's session is all about understanding how search engine works, and based on that, in the next session we will go into the optimization part, the off-page and on-page optimization. And in the third session we will understand how to measure the results of search engine optimization. So the 3 parts of this course is: 1, understanding how search engine works; second, how to do the optimization, the on-page and off-page optimization; and third, how to measure the optimization. So guys, any questions on today's class? I'll put my email ID also. You can, once you watch the recording, again, if you have some questions, you can shoot mail to my email ID. And this is my WhatsApp number. You guys can chat with me in WhatsApp if you have any doubts. So I would suggest that you guys just spend 1 or 2 hours right now, maybe afternoon, on this assignment 1. I think this assignment 1 has to be submitted before the next session. But I would say I would prefer you guys to do the assignment right now, because it's a very simple assignment and it will reinforce your understanding about how search engine works. Okay. So any questions, do let me know right now, or you can send me an email. Also, any feedback on the session, whether I should be going slower or should I go faster, or any suggestions to improve the session, that also you can put across. Okay, so I think there are no more questions. So you can shoot across mail or you can WhatsApp me. So we'll meet next week. So before that time, please complete the assignment. Thank you, guys.